Coming up, I'll let you know where heavy rain has led to some flooding today and where the impacts of a cold front will be felt as we get closer to the weekend. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We're your home for Caribbean weather, and it's nice to see you on a Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. Coming up in this video, a couple different features to touch on, some of them bringing impacts to our area right now, others that will be bringing impacts for the coming days. We'll look at your island by island rainfall forecast as well. As always, Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the Lane Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They offer free consultation and policy reviews. Anything that could impact you or your property, they're going to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. If you would like more information, please go to leanonmelaw.com and help support the sponsor of Meteo Mundo. All right, friends, we're going to get into it. This is our visible satellite imagery. I want you to notice this curlicue sitting just north of the Leeward Islands and portions of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and a strong cold front coming through Florida, which is going to bring some impacts to portions of our northwest areas as well. There's actually two fronts coming in. Now, the first one is going to have more bite to it and developing gale conditions already for portions of the northwest Bahamas. This front will extend back towards the Yucatan. A second front will come through to actually bring in some drier air. There is that little curlicue along this stationary boundary, but it's close enough to portions of the Lesser Antilles and the Greater Antilles in general, where we've had some prominent rain in some areas here over the past couple of days. And that's actually where we're going to start this video. You can currently see the wind gusts in miles an hour. We'll talk more about what's going to be happening in the Bahamas in a minute, but these are the winds, and this is what's happening across Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands at the hour. We've had some really slow moving showers, despite the fact that we've had some very gusty winds from time to time. You see St. Thomas has had a wind nearly 20 miles an hour, San Juan around 25. Central sides of Puerto Rico, we've had some very heavy rain. It's led to some localized urban and small stream flooding. You can see that in interior sections of the island right now. Live look to the radar there out of the southeast sides of Puerto Rico. And again, central portions of the island, Corozal towards Barranquitas, Uti Alto, some heavy rain there, more than a few inches in a couple of locations. Again, that's real quick flash flooding that has occurred in some of those spots. We'll continue to see some of this stick around deep into Wednesday before it finally dissipates. Generally speaking, these showers are kind of moving from east to west at the hour. It's, for the most part, not going to even get into the eastern side of the Dominican Republic. The air is a little bit drier the farther west that you go, but it's very localized in Puerto Rico. Now, for the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands, again, expecting us to see very spotty rain the remainder of the day. Still going to be some breezy conditions from time to time, but more than likely, we're not going to have a ton in the way of showers that cause any real problems out there. Go back over to the satellite imagery here and loop this up for you guys. And again, it's just been a fast-moving, breezy afternoon for us here as far as the clouds and the opportunity for a few showers go, but really it is Puerto Rico that has had the dominant heavy rain across the area. Now, if you've caught a couple of heavier showers in the northern side of the Leeward Islands today, let me know. You can clearly see that some of this moisture is lingering here through portions of Anguilla, St. Bart's, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, Barbuda. And you also notice that on this visible satellite imagery, you've got these clouds moving in different directions. This can pin some heavier rain across portions of the islands. Some of this is falling offshore, but Montserrat North, all the way to Anguilla, is another area that had pockets of heavier rain for today as well. Check out, see if there's been any decent wind gusts in this area as of the last hour. Doesn't look like it. I've actually got the wind gusts on, and we're not seeing anything more than 20 miles an hour. Now, the farther south in the island chain that you go, you're still going to have some breezy east to southeast winds like Dominica saw for today. Guadalupe, some passing showers possible. But the farther south that you go, again, the moisture content is not as prominent here. So it's fast moving showers, if nothing else. Now, sea conditions continue to be kicked up here. Things are kind of churned up overall. But generally speaking, get down towards Trinidad and Tobago, and it just gets drier and drier through the remainder of the Lesser Antilles. All right, back out to a little bit broader view. We'll swing on over to the ABC Islands. It's been a beautiful day for our friends in Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. What do you say we bring on down our current temperatures here, it's getting a little bit warm out there. We have some hot numbers that reach nearly the upper 80s for daytime highs. 85 degrees Fahrenheit is 29 degrees Celsius. So a lot of spots in the ABC Islands, 30, 31 degrees Celsius for daytime highs. Just some fast passing clouds there. Same situation for our friends even in the southwest side of the Caribbean. It's actually been some pretty fair weather. And again, temperatures are beginning to warm, starting to see a few showers develop in the far southern sides of Belize, coastal Guatemala at the hour there towards the Punta Gorda area. And again, San Pedro Sula, La Ceiba could see a brief shower. Some of this is kind of spinning around from interior locations. You want to talk about hot for today, San Ignacio over 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 32 degrees Celsius plus. Same thing for the Chechmal area. Drier air here. Dry in the Cayman Islands. Not expecting any threat for rain. We're trying to produce a couple of showers with my friends over Jamaica. It's very localized at the hour. Kingston, temperature dropping a little bit. At least some cloud coverage here. Montego Bay has enjoyed a very nice afternoon. Right now, dew points are in the 70s. So the humidity is up a bit. It's pretty steamy in a lot of Jamaica. My friends in Jamaica, let me know in the comment section below how you guys have been doing as well. Again, about 86 for the daytime high. It's not as bad as it's been, but it's still kind of steamy out there. The Dominican Republic, Haiti, once again, a couple of passing showers, very localized for today. Nothing that is extremely concentrated. Again, even some of the moisture coming out of this curlicue spin here is not able to get this far south and west. When I show you the water vapor imagery, you'll see that the air as a composite is still relatively dry. I mean, you can clearly see that gorgeous spin, but you notice that on the southwest side of this, the air is relatively dry. Now, things are going to be changing for our friends in the Bahamas. We have an extremely strong cold front that's working its way into the northwest side of the Bahamas as we speak. There's going to be a line of possibly showers and storms that'll be working its way in. I'll bring on the radar. Now, generally speaking, as we go deeper into late Wednesday and early on Thursday, first of all, you had south winds ahead of this, right? South to southwest winds. It fed in a few showers today, Bimini over Grand Bahama and Walker's Key. There's the actual front with the thin line of showers. They'll continue to break apart, and I do expect there to be some passing rain for the northwest Bahamas late tonight and into early Thursday morning. That being said, there's not going to be a lot of prominent moisture in play, so we're not going to have a ton in the way of rain. Wind gusts at the hour are quite strong off the Florida East Coast, over 40 miles an hour in a couple of spots, and even in some other areas, they're even stronger than that through the day. Those have actually weakened is what I'm trying to say. Temperatures right now are quite nice. The winds are going to freshen up in the northwest Bahamas, even back down towards Nassau, New Providence. And again, a little bit of a shear line here. Can't rule out a couple of spotty showers here and there. We're also going to continue to see more moisture roll across Bermuda as well, so just watch out for that opportunity. And some of this moisture might try and sneak into the northern sides of Quintana Roo towards Cancun and Cozumel. But this front is going to have some significant changes to the temperatures, especially in the Bahamas coming up. So let's get into the forecast, friends, and as we do so, thank you so much for liking this video. Appreciate each and every one of you. Love the Meteo Mundo weather community. Thank you for subscribing if you have not and you want these forecasts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Thank you for sharing this with your family and friends, and I do appreciate the support of the channel, the memberships, and I appreciate those who are still members. Super thanks, and you can find other ways to support the channel in the description below as well. Okay, so let's get into what's going to be happening here. I'm going to go back out to this broad view first. This is our enhanced satellite imagery here. Once again, this feature, cold front. Look at all of the lightning, some really significant storms off the United States East Coast. We're going to continue with our easterlies here. It's going to continue to turn things up, and we're going to see some fast-moving showers, but we're also going to get some pockets of very heavy rainfall in a couple of areas as well. Ignore that for the moment. Let me see if I can switch that over real quick, back over to the arrows. The first thing I want to talk about is going to be the wind. So I'm going to take a quick second here. We'll just loop this up over the next couple of days, and then we'll go on. So obviously, this front that I've been mentioning is going to push in some north wind, all right? So the air is going to begin to dry out. So for the Bahamas, Cuba, Turks and Caicos, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, most of Quintana Roo, and portions of North Central America, guess what, guys? As you get that north wind, it's going to feel pretty darn nice outside. You can see those winds swinging. Now, they'll turn out of the northeast and eventually out of the east. So this is not going to be a big reprieve, but for my friends in Jamaica, Kingston, Port Moore, Spanish Town, Montego Bay, Negril, nicer feels like conditions are coming. Temperatures will still be warm, but the air will be a lot drier. We'll also see the easterlies just kind of continue to shoot off here. And again, anywhere that you see the purples are winds of over 20 miles an hour. The winds will actually be a little bit lighter in the eastern Caribbean over the next couple of days. There'll still be a southerly component over the next couple of days, but then actually turn a little bit more out of the due east. I do expect the south component to the wind to bring a little bit higher chance for rain tomorrow through most of the Lesser Antilles, especially the Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. So one more day of higher rain chances, and then those rain chances should fade a little bit, where we stay with more isolated rain from places like St. Lucia off to the south in the Windward Islands. ABC Islands, fresh winds the next couple of days, and again in the Bahamas. First of all, the first front that comes in, right? You can clearly see the north winds that spin behind it. The second front will have a very broad mid-level low that you can clearly see on this wind map, which will skirt right across the northwest and central sides of the Bahamas. Winds will actually calm down a little bit and then turn back out of the south. Now, with this first front, developing gale conditions. So for boaters, please keep this in mind, especially for the offshore waters on the east sides of the islands. Long period swells are expected. Small craft should either exercise caution or remain in port. Just make sure you check in with the local forecast, but it does not look good. I'm expecting winds to be over 30 knots from time to time as we get into tomorrow. Let me do something real quick here. We'll bring on the model timeline. I had the local time running instead on the top left side of your screen. But you can clearly see over the next couple of days that that's going to end up being the case. So the moisture will be cut down in our northern areas, which means the rain chances will fall. But for the central and the eastern sides of the islands, we'll continue with some decent rain chances. So let's get into that right now. We'll bring up the model, loop this up over the next couple of days. And again, if you haven't as of yet, I really do appreciate you guys hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Once again, we'll be watching moisture coming out of the western Atlantic. Now, places like Trinidad and Tobago, a couple of isolated showers are possible. Generally speaking, this is going to be kind of evening and overnight rain, and it's not going to be very concentrated. There's not a lot of areas I expect to have high rain totals, but rain chances will be relatively high, especially in places from Dominica, Guadeloupe, Montserrat North, Antigua Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Bart's, and Anguilla over the next 24 hours. Anegada, Yost Van Dyke, Rotown Tortola, St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix, Vieques, Culebra, Fajardo. Central eastern sides of Puerto Rico will have a better chance for some of the heavier rain, but you saw that the rain got stuck in the interior portions today and didn't really move very quickly. And if that develops again, we could have more urban and small stream flooding on our Thursday across interior sections of Puerto Rico. Places like Punta Cana and Santo Domingo, slightly higher chance for rain than interior sections of the Dominican Republic. Puerto Plata and the Samana Peninsula could catch a brief shower, but again, that's nothing crazy. I don't know why my map did that. Give me just one second here. I continue to have a little bit of problems with my mouse. From time to time, it feels like it's okay, and I don't need to get a new mouse. And other times, I want to literally just throw this out the window. For my friends in Jamaica, very isolated rain the next few days. Sea conditions look okay. There's nothing of extreme highlight here. Again, with the north winds, pretty comfortable conditions, but it also dries out the air. So shower chances won't be fantastic, at least through Friday night. Maybe slightly higher Saturday and into Sunday. I'm not expecting a drop of rain for the most part in the Cayman Islands. You can clearly see this front kind of wedge its way through, right? I'm gonna let this loop up one more time, but watch it progress south. It brings a thin line of moisture with it, but then the air behind it is exceptionally dry. Now this could try and hang up over portions of Quintana Roo and Belize and Guatemala and northern Honduras to allow more moisture to develop here. But even then, I'm only expecting some spotty showers in the forecast. Bermuda is in for more active weather. What else is new as we move into early March here? They're going to get a round of showers coming in tomorrow and then some very brisk conditions after that. The winds will be picking back up. So here's your island by island rain chance. Looks like this. 30% chance for tomorrow in the northwest Bahamas as the front continues to pass on by. A lot of that will be early in the day, very isolated Friday, Saturday. Slightly higher in the central and southeast Bahamas from Exuma back down towards the Acklands on Friday as that front pushes, but also weakens. Just not a lot in the way of heavier rain. 20 on Saturday, very isolated for the Turks and Caicos and Cuba. Again, basically dry in the Cayman Islands. Even Belize City doesn't have a Huge chance for rain the next few days and even drier on Saturday. Again, a couple of showers are possible near Cancun and Cozumel for tomorrow, but not much Friday, Saturday. It's a 20% chance for Jamaica the next 3 days, but again, at least it should feel nicer in the afternoon hours. My friends in Jamaica, let me know if that pans out. For the Dominican Republic, 50% chance for rain tomorrow, not bad, but again, nothing extremely concentrated, and then the moisture content drops off. There's your highest rain chances for your Thursday. Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, 60% chance. Some of that could be healthier rain as well. 30 on Friday in Puerto Rico, 40 for the U.S. Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands, and then more isolated on Saturday. Quick moving showers in Bermuda late Thursday into Friday, and then a lot of wind behind that. Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, 60% chance for your Thursday, down to a 20% chance in Anguilla. So we do dry out relatively fast. And again, fast moving showers. That's still the story. Even though the rain chance is high, the rain totals aren't going to be extremely prominent in the Leeward Islands. For Antigua, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Dominica, 40% chance tomorrow, 30 Friday, 30 to a 40 on Saturday. Just kind of holding steady over the next few days. Dominica goes from a 40% chance tomorrow, 30 Friday and Saturday, 30% chance across the board, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines down to a 20% chance on Saturday, then very isolated for the rest of the Windward Islands, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, just a 20% chance. Once again, watch out for elevated sea conditions, especially on the windward sides of the islands. Suriname and Guyana, 30% chance for a couple of showers there. Not expecting a lot of rain for Nueva Esparta or the ABC Islands, upping it just a little bit for Aruba, Bonaire and Curacao for our Saturday. Well, obviously, are we going to have a little bit in the way of some healthy sea conditions with this front coming in? And you can clearly see that there just at the east side of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. Yes, we get into the yellows. You're looking at 10 to 12 foot waves, and there could even be some larger swells. It's not going to be fun boating there. You're going to want to find the sheltered locations at least through Friday. There's your easterlies that will continue across the Lesser Antilles. But again, behind this front, do you see all these grays? That's not bad, right? We'll see things settle down a bit in portions of the Bahamas and then over Cuba and into the northwest and central sides of the Caribbean. So it's not a horrible forecast outside of getting into some of the exposed waters of the Atlantic, all right? You stay on the, the leeward sides of things, you're looking pretty good. Now, rainfall totals. Obviously, this time of the year, we're impacted by the trade winds and we're impacted by fronts. Down the road on the European model, we have a healthier front coming back in. The question will be, does this really high rain reach the northwest Bahamas? Other than that, it's still more localized in nature this time of the year. So you'll see that we'll have some concentrations of rain over the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, portions of Hispaniola, another little spot there over the northern sides of Honduras and the Bay Islands. That was the European model. When we look at the GFS model, it's a little bit drier in the short term through Central America until you get into the far southern sides of the area. Again, not a ton of rain overall as far as actual totals, but if there's going to be more prominent numbers, more than likely it is going to be again in these areas. So take a look at some of these if I can. Again, this is always fun to see if these will pop on. Plus my mouse isn't working 100% either. Behind the scenes, I literally just opened up a window because my mouse is maybe we need to do like a fundraiser for a new mouse. St. Bart's, an inch of rain. On over towards, there's Guayama, Yabacoa, Humacao, an inch of rain. But you can clearly see, right, that the GFS model is picking up on the interior rain there in Puerto Rico. I'd put that all the way towards Barranquitas and Uti Alto as well. So again, we favor the northern sides of the Lesser Antilles. Dear Lord, please let this mouse just hold on. Dominica, about a half inch. It's funny. I don't know if it's the program or if it's the mouse that, is kind of being squirrely right now, but I'll figure it out. Not a big deal. Again, really spotty rain. Not a ton of rain in the Bahamas despite the fronts coming in. And there's some of the coastal showers here. Just to give you an idea again for Jamaica, not completely dry, but we pick up 1/4 inch of rain. We're doing okay. Again, an inch is 25 millimeters. So we're literally talking about 6-7 millimeters of rain over the next 4 or 5 days. Not in a lot of the way of that. Watch out for the wind, though. That is going to continue to be a story. Friends, I appreciate you guys following us across all social media. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or video to help tell your weather story? myMediaMundo@gmail.com. As always, you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below while you're down there. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing as well. Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the lien law firm of Central Florida. They cover homeowners, condo owners, and associations across the entire state of Florida. Anything that could impact you or your property. Think hail damage, hurricane damage, right? Burst pipes. They're going to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. You want more information, go to lienonthelaw.com. Friends, please have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'm back soon with the latest forecasts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas and potentially a new mouse right here at Meteo Mundo.